Prof, whatever, is a Minnesota rapper. He's currently signed to the Rhymesayers Entertainment label, host of artists such as Atmosphere, A$AP Rock, Brother Ali, Dem Atlas, and usually, most of the time, we're either entertained by their projects. Not all of them are great, but most of the time we're entertained. There are moments, usually on every project, that we enjoy. The last project released, Evidence's last project, whether or not, we were kind of,
I know you can do better than that, Evidence.
But, like, that's kind of like the lowest they go, is just kind of It's never like terrible.
Nothing's ever bad.
We know what to expect out of this label, and this new project from Prof, whatever his name is. Prof. I was interested going into because I think his persona is just so strange and out there. Last year I discovered him through a single off of his last mixtape, Time Bomb, which... It's essentially, it's like the music video threw me off because I think that's the hardest thing to get about it. His persona is weird, and a lot of his music videos don't really match as well, or they give you a different feel of like the personality you come to expect. But the music video for Time Bomb, it like takes Trailer Park Boys, and it gives you this like, it kind of threw me off because I'm not a huge in Trailer Park Boys, but like people usually like Trailer Park Boys aren't like well spoken for. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I thought he had a lot of different flows, a lot of different styles, but I wasn't necessarily sold because I thought it was I thought it was a little bit too weird, a little bit too out there, and I didn't think it was like consistent enough. But after a while, I've actually kind of grown the single, and especially listening to it as a part of this album on its own, I actually really enjoyed a lot. And I think that's one of the things I like about Proof the most, is that he's so weird, he's so out there. He's kind of mastered this kind of like goofy, cheesy persona. Artists like Lil Dicky and Macklemore definitely use this persona a lot, but it's not preachy like Macklemore, and it's not cringy like Lil Dicky. And I think it's the right balance of stupid mixed with like bravado and braggadocio. But at the same time, it's entertaining. It's not constantly braggadocio. It's kind of constant braggadocio, but at the same time,
I wouldn't say so.
Like moments like Andre the Giant and Action definitely
there are. Also,
are.
like stupid ones, like I've cooked crack before. Like you know, things like that aren't like exactly about how great you are.
Yeah. But he's comparing himself to other rappers.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But it's a nice blend of, he matches bravado and braggadocio with his persona, and it becomes entertaining. If you're gonna do braggadocio, if you're gonna do bravado, do it right. Make it fun. Make it worth listening. And on this project, he makes it worth listening. I actually have a lot of fun with this project. I think Prof provides a lot of very solid flows and a lot of surprisingly great vocals performances. His vocal capacity on this project is excellent. He has a really soulful, really almost gospel-inspired voice that you don't expect from this like strange white guy with a pedophile mustache. Like, you don't expect him to have that talented of a voice, and he comes through with such a great just vocal styling that it comes through in some of the poppier moments on this album really well, and it comes through on some of the more emotional tracks on this album pretty well. Honestly, I think this is a well-constructed album, well-constructed hip-hop album. I actually had a lot of fun with this. I was decently surprised how much I actually enjoyed Proof's performances throughout, and I think he's a very talented individual. He has a lot of personality for him, and it's pretty great. I want to hear what you had to say about this, though.
I actually quite enjoyed it. I don't know. I feel like comedy music is kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
Macklemore's latest project, I think, was god-awful, and sometimes I find him really annoying. But, like, I liked his last two albums and, like, the fun moments on it, you know, The Heist and This Unruly Mess I've Made. I thought those were both really interesting. Lil Dicky's Professional Rapper, when that first came out, I was hooked for a little while. Like, I thought it was fun. And now he's super obnoxious. But then, like, you go to Kieran J. Callanan or Ariel Pink, and I just can't get behind these. I can't get behind these artists. Like, there's just something about it. But Prof I found to be, like, a step above all of that. I found him to be, like, very funny and very interesting at the same time as being, like, a good lyricist and a decent I guess just artist in general. Like, he knows how to use his production to his advantage, and he knows how to make catchy songs as well as like being stupid. There are tracks on here like Andre the Giant, or the title track Pookie Baby, or Send Nudes, obviously, is the funniest one. That's my personal favorite on the album. They just catch my attention, and they're not like overly stupid or cringy where I'm just like, turn this off, you know?
Yeah, speaking about how it's not overly cringy, Sends Nudes the best like moment of this. How it is, it takes like a really dumb concept of sending nudes. It's basically just trying to get this chick to send nudes to him. Easy concept, could be terribly executed. I could honestly see Little Dicky making a song like this, and it would be god awful.
Oh yeah, I heard so many shades of him, but it wasn't him. It was a step above.
It's like, but here's the thing: it's well executed as fuck. There's so many changes. His vocal performance is fantastic on it. It reminds me a lot of Shaggy, weirdly enough, and that like 90s, early 2000s pop music. It's like, it's fun. It's really fun. I think it's a well executed, like, kind of pop rap comedy track, and it just has so many layers to it. It's so fun, and it could have been terrible, but it comes through with some just fun writing that's not too out there or not trying to be something else. It's not too forceful, but at the same time, it knows it's a joke. It knows it's completely stupid, and it tries to mess with the form up a little bit. The breakdown at the end, "Wanna take me with the clothes off," it's just very catchy and fun, and it has a lot of humor. I think the catchiness of the track makes the humor more exciting.
For sure. The negative side, at least for me, is that I think around the probably around like the Action or Homicide mark on here, like 10th or 11th track in, I think that the album lost its sheen a little bit. And I felt like some of the production just wasn't as good as the first half. I just felt like some of the lyrics weren't as good as the first half. And like, luckily, it's only for a couple of tracks. And it's not. It's nothing that's like super glaring on the album. But I do have to address the fact that there were just like tracks on here that I didn't find enjoyable at all. Like I said, like Homicide, I was just bored. I almost fell asleep like in the car listening to this.
Homicide is kind of boring because it's just like, his performance is good, don't get me wrong. I think his vocal performances across this, but it's like really similar to Criminal, like right after, and I don't think it has like the same amount of impact as like other tracks, and I think it's kind of the real side of him we see, and since it's not like a brief moment, it kind of just goes on for too long. I think that's probably my least favorite track on this entire album. One moment that like I'm kind of like iffy on whether I'm like sold or not, the moment Be Around. It's a more vocal heavy track. It's not really as quirky, as fun, as punchy. I like the performance that he and this vocalist give together. I forget her name.
Ashley DuBois.
They have a lot of good chemistry together, but I just don't think it's like worth all it's meant to be. And then Focus, I think it's just like the last track on this album that I disliked. Everything after that, Minneapolis and the closer, Eulogy, I thought were fun. I really enjoyed it. Minneapolis is definitely a track I honestly think Macklemore would make, but it seems like 1,000 times more fun. It seems like a genuine experience.
I just feel like there's this obvious like dip in quality I see. Also, like, personal thing, Designated Hitter is stupid. I just hated that song.
I feel like you were.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
What?
The end of Bobby Tarantino.
Yeah.
Where he goes, I smoke weed.
But here's the thing. This I want to talk about. I think to me, it seems more. It's not as cringy as that because he's not trying to make it edgy.
No, it was
Logic was trying to
like
make it edgy. This just seemed like just like his love experience with weed, and it's just his tribute to similar how Minnesota is not Minnesota. Minneapolis is a tribute to his city.
Or Minnesota is a tribute to Lilian.
Minneapolis tribute city, Designated Hitter's tribute to his weed and how it's like his stories behind it. He actually has stories behind it, and it does have some catchy moments to it. And I knew you weren't gonna like that track because of that. It wasn't
my favorite. I just felt like he was,
and it's not one of the stronger moments in the album by any means.
I think tracks about weed, kind of like a side topic. I think tracks about weed are like, I don't know, like almost too like. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. I just think that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But no, it did have like a lot of funny moments. Also, pure genius to make the track 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I was going to talk about that. That's like...
I was very impressed. That's just
not,
the care that Prof puts in his album.
It's not. It's been done before. I remember Kid Cudi on Man on the Moon 2 had a track called Marijuana, and that was 420 seconds as long. And
that was Kid Cudi. He plays the guitar.
But I think... like it added like an element to the joke of the track, or the element to humor. Tracks I want to mention before we actually have to end this review soon. Andre the Giant's fantastic. Pookie Baby, utterly fantastic. Time Bomb, fantastic. And I'm gonna say No is utterly fantastic as well. I know you're not the biggest fan of that track, but all these tracks I would talk about them own, but I think they all follow the same style of Prof just kind of messing with his flows, constantly changing, constantly evolving, having a good sense of humor, having a unique personality, having good bars. I think tracks like Action and Light Work are more showcases of his flow than anything else. I don't think they punch hard as like Andre the Giant or No, but they're more of the groundwork for him showcasing his flows and showcasing his humor. I think Light Work actually has some of the best performances on the entire album, just flow wise. And I think we're talking about how this album it manages to be jokey. It does get into some like real territory, but I don't think it is preachy as someone like a Macklemore, because we're comparing the two. Because the track I've Could Crack before, it reminds me of, I forget what the track's called, but on Jay-Z's 4442 as well, where Jay-Z's comparing a bunch of like himself to a bunch of like the SoundCloud rappers and artists such as like Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah.
I forget what that track's called, but it reminds me of that too. I think this has an element of humor. It works, but it's not the strongest, I think. I think when there's more humor attached to it, it works better. I think the end where he's like inviting the little fake rapper to come, he's like, there's no such thing as fake rappers and real rappers. You don't need to lie to be a real rapper or something. Real rappers don't lie. And he's like, come here, give me a hook. I thought that was hilarious. And there's progression in the instrumental as well, and he has good vocals on the track. But I think it comes off a little bit too braggadocious or kind of too like real hip hop style, which is problems I had with Jay-Z on 444 on that track, because I think he's just like, you gotta let the kids have fun. But I do like his critique of Xanax, and he's saying he could crack, the glorification of Xanax in modern rap, and we live in Xans in 2017, the glorification of drug culture. I like that critique. I think that's a very solid critique, but I think elements of the track could have been taken out and replaced more with that, or it could have been more goofy overall, and him ripping on SoundCloud rappers or fake rappers. But overall, I really had a lot of fun with this project. Moments like Andre the Giant, Light Work, sorry, I'm just goofing off. Moments like Andre the Giant, Light Work, Action, No, Time Bomb are all fantastic, and I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to them. At the worst, I think this album's just kind of meh. I think moments like Homicide and Be Around and Focus just don't really do it for me. But other than that, they're just some minor footnotes on this like 50-minute album. I really had a lot of fun. I think it's consistent. It knows itself well, and overall, I'm gonna give it a half. I really liked it. Nice.
I think I'm going to give it an 8.25. It did end up being something that I actually did enjoy listening to, and I always like to laugh when I listen to music, and I think that he delivers well, especially on tracks not mentioned, Pookie Baby, Send Nudes, that kind of thing. I just found them very interesting and a lot of fun.